Well, a very good evening, everyone. Welcome along to this is the saddest I've ever been in my life, with the words of a deluded Ollie on the way back from Home Park in 2016. Boys, I don't really know what to say, to be honest to you. I mean, Alex, on the negative, you want to go first? Where do we start, mate?
You want to start with me?
I'd love to.
I'm really positive.
You look
It
it.
was a shocker. What was the goal all about? Like, not being funny, what are the guys doing for that goal?
What was Harrison doing?
What is Harrison doing?
What
is the keeper
doing?
doing?
What was it keeper's fault? Was he not shouting? Was Harrison not listening? You know.
Oh, terrible goal.
But the thing is,
both
Harrison,
goals
in the first half when we were attacking as well, like Harrison went up for a header with another one of our players.
Yeah.
And like, are the boys just not talking?
He missed a sitter as well, didn't
he? Yeah.
Let's before we continue, we've got plenty of time to get chatting from our end, boys. But let's get some of the viewers in. Kevin has said that's it. After too many years following Pompey, including 200-mile round trips from home games, I'm not going to renew my season to watch hoofball unless Jacket is sacked in the morning. We've got, watch this, Josh, Jacket out, Albie Mullins, Kenny out. Sean has said never went for it. Mark has gone Jacket out. Albie Mullings, Blue Knight has said Jacket out. I won't show Paul's comment on the screen, but he wants Jacket to do one, basically. We should have had so many penalties. Let's start with that one. Probably I would jump in, right? Oh, sorry. Paul Sexton's come in saying he has to be sacked. Utter failure. Never went for it. Shocking. The comments are coming through too quickly. Embarrassing. Always supported Jacket, but he can't stay now. Awful football. Discuss. Should Oxford have finished the game with 9 men on the pitch?
No. I think Taylor was a bit lucky to stay on. Like, Taylor put in an awful challenge on McGeehan. But it was a bit quick. It's hard for the ref to see. Arguably, Brown should have been sent off and they should have had a penalty because he pulled down that Aye or whatever his name is in the box. So, I don't think we can do what ifs and buts because I think, in honesty, both teams are a bit unlucky. We could have had a penalty, but so could have they just as easily. They could have had a sending off, but so could have we. So, and I don't think you can blame the penalty of McGeehan either for it. It wasn't a great penalty, admittedly, but the keeper still had to save it, didn't he? It was on target at least. So I think that the setup from the start wasn't right. I mean, I think Harrison made too many mistakes in the game, and he made too many mistakes in the first leg, and it wasn't creating enough in the first. As soon as Marquise came on, there was a noticeable difference going forward. He held the ball up a lot better. We were distributing the ball well, but we just didn't seem to be bothered about attacking. We were trying to play counter-attacking football, but they always had 3 or 4 men behind the ball, and it didn't work. I think we weren't dynamic enough.
I think ultimately, though, we're left in the position where we have to win playoff games to get through. We've never won a playoff game under Jacket, have we?
We've never won a playoff game
anyway. Full stop. But never won a playoff game.
But we shouldn't be in that position, should we? We've got probably the biggest fan base in the league, or one of the top 2, definitely. We've got one of the biggest budgets. We've got one of the biggest draws, and we just haven't got a side that. I mean, we've had 4 years to get a side that can win the league. League One. We're not trying to win the Championship. We're trying to win League One. We should be able to do that. It's not good enough, is it?
We're not at all clinical enough at any one point. That's the biggest issue. We don't put teams to bed ever.
Do we look better than anyone else? Not particularly.
For the last 2 years, when we went to Fratton Park, the first 2 seasons ago, we said when Luton came, we won 1-0 that first game. That actually Luton were a much better side, and they looked a lot better than us. And that we would be happier being a Luton fan that day and a Pompey fan leaving that game, although we'd won. And then Luton went and won the league because they looked clinical. They looked a lot better.
Well, they were a better side.
And again, this season, we've said the same about Coventry when they came. Exactly the same thing. Coventry looked like a better side to us. And look what happened. They get automatic promotion. We don't. And that's the problem. We're always putting ourselves in these positions where we've got to win playoff games to get promoted, as opposed to just going and outright winning the league. We should be aiming for what Liverpool have done in the Premiership. We should be going out to beat teams game week in, week out.
Boys, I'm going to jump in. We've got so many comments coming in. This is the most we've had on a live stream since we started doing them. So Jack Chapman's come in saying we weren't the best side, didn't deserve the win. Maybe it's time for a change in style of management. Jack it out. Darren said we want Jack it out. Same every week. It's 3 years. Someone else needs to turn. What was Harrison doing? It's an amateur error. Callum, who's a Charlton fan, has come in saying, feel for you boys wanting to be in the Championship next season. Keep your heads up. Callum, I'll be honest with you, mate. Right now, it's a really difficult thing to do. Get Daniel Stendel in and you go up. Easy to say, get this, whatever. But right now, it's just a consuming mess, isn't it, at the moment? Joe Robert has said this has nothing to do with ifs, buts or maybes. It's how we tactically set up. All season we've been reserved. We have the ability to... We do have the philosophy. Elijah has said Bass should have saved 2. They went through his fingers. They did. 2 of them were Butterfinger saves, weren't they? Bassy Butterfingers. Yeah. Ronnie's come in and said, does Jacket inspire this team or the charisma of a Badger's fart? Never won a playoff game. Ridiculous. Andrew's waiting in the wings, our resident Kenny Jacket expert. What would you like to say on what Ronnie's had to say, mate?
Oh, good evening, chaps. I really enjoyed that. I don't know about you. That's a great game, wasn't it? I think we played good football for 10 minutes and then kicked it in the air for the next 45. So it doesn't surprise me. It's a similar sort of season we've had under Jacket in the 3rd year. I'm not going to pull any punches, Tom. I've been saying it for a long time. No one enjoys watching this sort of football, mate. I certainly don't, and I'm not going to go next season until he's gone. That's a fact.
Can you turn down the volume on the laptop, mate, while we go away from you, because you're giving us a bit of feedback.
Can I ask? Is Andrew saying that he's not going to renew his season ticket for the first time in like 40 years?
Yep, you're right. I'm not going to this season if he's still there, because that's going to be my protest. At it, mate. At it.
Well, there you go. You've heard it here first, ladies and gents. There's 120 odd people in here. You've just listened to a man who's been a Pompey season ticket holder for the best part of his life for over half a century now, and first season in a very long time where you won't be back in the boys. Should Kenny Jacket not be sacked before the start of the new season? Is what you're saying. Blue Tube's come in saying, sad to see you crash out like that. At least we can meet again next season. Looking forward to a trip to Ipswich right now. We would have had them if Harrison didn't get in. Bass, that cost us the game. OJ Gaming said they deserved it. Kenny Jacket had 3 years time to move on, boys.
Yeah, I think that's the overriding point, isn't it? We could sit and dissect the game and say so and so should have played better or so and so played well or whatever, but ultimately it's not really the frustration, is it? It's 3 years of not getting promoted. It's the frustration. We've had too many chances and not delivered it.
Not only that.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's not good football, is it? It's not good football to watch, is it? Did anyone enjoy that 90 minutes or that 120 minutes? No. And you shouldn't be feeling like that, should you? You know, we got, as you say, biggest squad, probably the biggest support, a lot of loyalty from everyone, home and away, and you just watch him move the ball around for 45 minutes and not know what to do with it. He didn't have a plan, did he? Not a plan A or plan B. That's a fact.
I'm going to have to get through some of these comments. Do you still want McGee in next year?
No.
I
agree. I think we were very one-dimensional in that game, massively one-dimensional, and that's what cost us really more than anything. We didn't change anything. We put new players on the pitch, but we didn't change the style of what we were trying to do, and it wasn't working. You know, is it Long, their right back, had Curtis sussed pretty much from the get-go in the first leg, and yet we're still putting balls wide, trying to put it into the box. And why aren't we trying to be more direct? Why aren't we changing it up? Why aren't we cutting inside, trying to shoot? Why are we continuing to repeat the same method over and over and over that clearly isn't working?
Boys, Tony said, sorry, Ollie. Tony said defensively stand at no tempo going forward, never looked like we could score. Linda has come in and said, I think if we went out, we would have come off straight back down. Pompey. Elliot said, it's not worked for Pompey with experienced managers. Now get a young manager who plays attacking football. It's an interesting one that we shall discuss. Paul has come in saying, it's symptomatic of his ethos. If he's there after tomorrow, it says the owners literally have no desire to move forward and get out of this league. Everyone but they can see his football is over. A rotting dinosaur. We've done nothing but stagnate under him. No more excuses. It's the last sentence I'll read from that. Boys, I don't want to. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon and just go all out on the owners. But is it time for a massive reshuffle after that?
Well, if we're not tactically aware of making changes, it only falls on one person's shoulders, doesn't it? It's a bit difficult to blame one person, but from a fan's perspective, something needs to change. And we've been saying it for a little while, and all this season, a lot of fans have been saying it. Let's be honest, that Jacket isn't providing the right style of football, and we play the same formation week in, week out without any change, no matter if we're home or away. We never change anything up. There's one method of playing football. And in today's climate, you've got to be a bit more diverse than that. And I just think that you look at what last season is a prime example with what Charlton did in the playoffs and where they came from with what budget they had. They had a lot less budget than we did. Lee Bowyer was the worst paid manager in the league. And we've got Jacket on whatever he's on, 250 grand a year. Why are we paying this sum of money for someone who can't motivate a team and change something up and create the squad that we need to move forward? You got Naylor, who's been captain and centre mid all season, didn't get 1 minute of time in the playoffs. I'm not saying Naylor would have made a massive difference, but why aren't you playing him? What has Brian Morris done that's so much better than him in those games? Why does he deserve the spot?
I guess the question you've got to ask is, can we do better? And obviously, the obvious answer is yes, isn't it? We should have a better manager. We should play better football. We should have a better team. We should finish the league stronger. So we've got to change something.
Can I jump in with Alex? Who said would going up game would be good for us? If we went up, we'd have to spend massively to stay in the championship without a full summer of proper recruitment and no proper pre-season. Alex, it's a great question, mate. Sadly, we're going to have to move on to a lot more comments coming in, but I think the quick answer to that one is 3 seasons failed in League One now. I think definitely it's about time that we get heading up into the Championship. Pastor Muncher is absolutely fuming. Tia's comments from McGinn is playing too bad. If Naylor played instead of him, Pompey would have done a lot better. Why any trust was put in Hamster Man? Ollie's off. Andrew's back. Josh O'Neill has said no way Pompey got chance when that Oxford goalkeeper kicked out instead. Back on Pompey player, other way of goal. I'm quite sure what you mean there, Josh, but we'll
he's talking about Ollie Hawkins, isn't he? The goalkeeper kicked out on Hawkins and it went wide.
Yeah, okay. Pompey sailor Kevin has said Batch should have stopped a couple of those pens. Stendhal with 100 would get you up 1,000%. Eddie Howe has come in, Linda. We haven't played well all season, says Mark. Sean has come in saying rather have Joey Barton than Jacket, and I can't stand Barton. Paul Broom has said why did McGeehan take a pen over Curtis? Boys, anything on that?
That's a good point. Don't know. Why didn't Curtis take it?
You don't know that.
Back a little bit, Andrew. Your face is over the logo, mate.
He could not have fancied it. He could have. It could be anything, couldn't it? It could be a number of reasons, I suppose.
Rowan would take it, wouldn't he, if he had the choice?
You'd think so. Although, seeing how badly he took those free kicks, 2 good free kicks in good positions, skied both of them, didn't even get one on target. I wouldn't fancy him for a pen.
No, I suppose, yeah.
Duncan's come in and
maybe he didn't let him have one because it was such a bad effort on the free kicks.
Yeah.
Duncan, corners and set pieces were dreadful today, weren't they? So that's another discussion. Duncan has come in and said, probably brought us all back down to earth and said, 1 missed penalty doesn't suddenly mean sacking manager. Stick with Jacket and we'll go up next season. Duncan, I think Andrew will definitely have something to say on this one. Probably all the boys in the stream will, but don't think you agree with Duncan, do you, on that one, Andrew?
No, I don't, Tom, because it's not about this one penalty. It's about what we've been watching for the last 3 years. And the last year, exactly. There's been no settled team, no design, no change of system, no plan B, wrong team selection and wrong formation. And everybody says it. And unfortunately, now it's time Mark Catlin took some time out to think about what he wants to do for the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, Tom. This is a big club that should not be in League One again for another season.
It's not like he's just had one chance either.
No, he's had 3 chances.
Yeah.
How many chances do you want? Another one for another season? It's a joke, mate.
Okay, Carla's coming as a Sunderland fan. He looks forward to seeing us next season. Carla, don't feel the same way, mate, but we'll look forward to a trip up north. The style of football has been so dire. We've stumbled into the playoffs and blown it again. Perhaps if we had had a season, Matthew, I would have thought a full season. In fact, maybe maybe that would have been different. But you know, let's just leave it at that for now. Let's get Harrison and Jacket on a raft out into the Solent. That's probably one of the best comments I've seen all evening. Thank you to that. Mark has said, are you changing your name to one all written all over it? Mark, that's definitely something we'll be considering, mate. Jacket plays boring football is not motivational at all. Time for Eisner to step up and find someone new.
Do you think, guys, you've met the owners a number of times at different conferences and things, haven't you? And you've met Mark Caitlin a number of times. Do you think they will do it? Do you think that Jacket will be there to start the first game next season, or do you think we will have a new manager?
I think he'll stay there. They've got all the excuses, haven't they? They've got the excuses. COVID. It wasn't the same. You can't judge him on the last because of the situation. There'll be all that stuff going on. You know, it ain't about that. It ain't about the last 10 games. It's about this whole season and the last 3 years, isn't it? And it is not acceptable. People will stop going to watch the team play football. That's what's going to happen. Me included. It's boring. We've been saying it for years. Ollie, how many times have I said to you, I'm not going to that game to take somebody else?
Well, we were at games this season. I mean, after the Southampton game, when we lost 4-0 there. We weren't expecting to win that game. I'm not saying that by imagination. But the game after that, we were at home. I can't remember who we were playing. And we all sat there and said, we'd had a terrible start to the season. We just lost 4-0. We'd almost sat there going, we'd rather see us lose tonight and Jacket get sacked because we're doing so poorly. Because we wanted that change. We wanted something to force that change. And then we ended up winning 1-0 and went on a bit of a run and ended up putting ourselves into playoff places. So, I mean, the team had the ability to win game on game on game, but we just don't. At no point in tonight's game did I really think that we looked threatening, like we were going to, at any minute we could score a goal. We did maybe in the first half a little bit, played quite well towards the end of the first half, but for the majority of that game, we were on the back foot, we were defending, there wasn't enough change for me. There wasn't, they made 2 changes before the end of the 90 minutes. That made a massive difference to them. That really pushed them forward from the middle. They started attacking us. They started putting pressure on us, and we just looked tired, worn out, and we're just throwing ourselves in front of the ball. It was almost like there was nothing to it, but just like, try and keep the ball out, boys. There wasn't any like, let's do this, let's change this, let's start playing this, play this. Let's draw them in and then take them this way. There was none of that. I just feel like it was a bit toothless, really, and a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
A wasted effort.
Yeah, did you see? I don't know if anyone watched Oxford play football tonight, but they played the football that we should be playing on the deck, passing it around, moving into space to each other, not a 35-yard oof up into the air by Raggett or by Burgess, whoever it might be. Even McGeehan was doing it, just lumping it anywhere. At one point, it was ping pong for 20 minutes, wasn't it? It's shocking. You didn't see Oxford doing that. They had the ball on the deck and they were playing football. They deserved it. To be fair, they deserved the game tonight. I thought they were much better than that.
I'm really sorry to have to move on, but we've got so many comments coming in, so many people that have joined us tonight. So thank you for all sticking with us. I'll get us through as many as I possibly can. Paul has said, Jacket out, get it trending on Twitter. It's an interesting one. Kevin said, Ipswich, Sunderland, Charlton, Barnsley, harder next season to go up. Perhaps that was the season that we needed to use in order to go up. Ronnie said, you can't blame Jacket. The players didn't care. McGinn cares more about his hair. Jacket made one significant mistake, and that was dropping Naylor again. You can't blame him, but you can blame him for a third successive failed season in League One, Ronnie. Francis said, Kenny out. We have to good of a team and a fan, but too good of a team and a fan base to not be promoted for 3 years. Francis, I completely agree with you, mate. Spencer Cotton, good evening to the Coventry fans. Spencer Cotton has come in and said, Mark Robbins has transformed Coventry into Coventry Barcelona. Premier League, here we come. Best of luck to Coventry next season. We lost the game from the start when Naylor didn't start. Not good enough from Jacket by not starting as captain and playing someone who hasn't played in nearly 2 years in Morris. I actually thought Morris had a good game on the flip side of that, but there we go. Max has come in and said, we're a massive club with the best set of fans in the country. If fans start protesting and not renewing their season tickets and going against the club, we're going to destroy Pompey's amazing reputation. Maybe that is what it takes, Matt. Maybe that is what it takes for some kind of change to come in.
Can I come on that point about?
Go on, Ollie.
Can I come on that point about Naylor?
Yeah, of course you can.
And see, I agree with you. I don't think Morris had a bad game. My point would be is that Naylor has captained that side near enough every game throughout the season from the centre midfield position. Now, why would you take someone off who's clearly a leader or seems to be a leader by the team? When you're in that pressure situation of a playoff, you need someone in the middle to calm the game, to control the pace of the game and get us back playing football. And that, I think we missed that a lot tonight. I'm not saying Morris had a bad game. I think he played a role very well, but there wasn't really a true leader there getting the team playing football like we know we can play football, or calming the game down after we scored. You know, both times we scored a goal, panicked, and then concede one straight after within minutes.
Fleetwood Town have just scored, so that's now 4-2 on aggregate. See what happens on that game. We'll keep you updated. MK1 Aquatic has said, blessing in disguise. It's clear as day we ain't good enough for the championship, and plus it's leveraged to force Jacket out. Been a poor manager for 3 seasons now. Enough's enough. MK1 Aquatic, your comments are always spot on, mate. And again, you are on that one as well. Do you think we need a rebuild? Definitely, Lucas. That's a real shame for Portsmouth. I was hoping we could get them open and start to grow in the championship and probably push back to the creme. That's what. Sorry, I'm talking too quickly. That's what we're all hoping for this season, mate. Cannot wait for Kenny's post-match interview. He will be smiling as usual, says Darren. Would going up work in this current climate? No proper summer recruitment, mass spending needed, no proper pre-season. Not sure it's the right time. Let's start afresh. Matt has said, I think Kenny should go back because when we score, he thinks we've won the game and tells the team to sit back. That is evidential, what we've seen over the last couple of games, definitely. Look for a manager with the balls to take risks is the way to go. Portsmouth has everything to be a championship side. John has said, Bash should have saved 2 of the pens. Harrison, without his mistake, Pompey are Wembley bound. How many poor crosses were put in? None of that is Jackett's fault. Played 2 playoffs in 2 seasons. It's interesting that there's so many coming through. I'm just struggling to kind of find all the right ones. I'm so sorry if I've missed your comments out in the last couple of moments. Ollie Clark has said, Kenny out. All we need is a manager who just doesn't play hoofball. Please tell me what's our next plan. We can't keep Kenny. You've certainly threatened to get promotion the last 2 seasons, and I think you'll be strong contenders for autos next season. Cannon and Morris did well. I can only blame McGeehan and Jacket. Bristol City fan living in Portsmouth, he feels our pain. Lee Johnson will get us out of League One for sure. We took 4 years to get up in League Two. Hopefully we can have that next season. KV's come in saying Jacket has to go. Surely he must question whether he can take Pompey further, because I'm pretty sure we can all agree he has to go 2 years in a row. Jacket makes questionable changes for the playoffs. Boys, let's jump in on that one. Last year, Curtis and Jamal weren't in the team. This year, similar story.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ollie's made the point already, hasn't he, around Naylor, captain all season and then not picked for either game. I don't know whether he's got COVID or he's got another reason, but yeah, there's a number of questionable changes, isn't there? I think you should have gone with McGilvery. He's played most of the season. He's been impressive, I think, throughout. And we let in 2 bad goals. I would have thought he'd have saved both. So, difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah, I like I've said it already. I think, like you said, we seem to make these strange decisions when it comes to play. It's almost like he doesn't want us to get promoted, or he thinks the change in personnel will change the way that the opposition are going to play against us. And I think, if anything, we were a bit weaker. I don't know. I just think, personally, I think we could have made some better decisions with the team. I think Marquis, I don't see why he's being in the team. I think Seddon played really well and proved why he should be in ahead of Brown. I think Brown makes a lot of mistakes still. Like, he should have been sent off in reality for the challenge, or putting that guy's shirt back in the box. You know, that's a very obvious foul, wasn't it? And I think there's a lot of mistakes in that team that we fielded today, and that ultimately what cost us. I don't think the missed pen is the problem. It shouldn't have ever got to that point in the first place.
Can I ask Tomo what he thinks?
I've honestly, I haven't had time to process it, mate. Sorry? Can you hear me? No one can hear me.
Yeah, you're coming through on the channel fine, Tom. It's just a bit crackly for us, I think.
Okay. So what all I would say is that it was always coming. I think deep down, all Pompey fans knew that coming into tonight's game that it was always coming. I just think it's a really tough one to take after 3 failed seasons. I don't really know where I stand on the whole managerial situation right now. And there's a couple of comments that are going to back up the points I was about to make. It was categorically Jacket will not be in charge next season. Harry's coming and said Jacket will stay and nothing will change. No ambition from the owners. So there's the best of two there, best of two halves there. Ronnie had said without Naylor in the middle, we had all the resistance for the drive pocket on. Too easy for them to break through each time today. We've touched on Naylor already, but Ronnie, thank you for your humorous comment, mate. It's really keeping us going. Kenny has got to go. It's so negative. Curtis is definitely going. There's one that you both can touch on for the moment. Or Andrew, you want to take a little sit back in your chair, mate, just so we can see you. Will Curtis be off now that it's been a failed season?
Yeah, Tom, there'll be a lot of players going, mate, because they're good players there that could leave this football club and play in the Championship, and that's what's going to happen. And I don't know, I'm so disappointed again, mate. 3rd season in a row. I think we're all getting a bit fed up with it, aren't we? Same old. And you can say, my cousins would say down Pompey, they'd all say, same old Pompey, and then people get fed up with it, don't they? I'm fed up with it. You know, after all these years, I'm thinking, do I want to go and watch that again next season? We don't want to watch Fleetwood Town. Do I want to go to Fleetwood away? Do I want to go to Accrington Stanley? Not really.
Callum said clearly it stings at the moment, but honestly, if Jacket took you up, would you be calling for him to go and get as well?
Yes, I would, as you well know that, Tom, because I've been saying that for many years. He isn't the guy for us. He's an old school manager. You need somebody with some spirit and some get up and go. You need a James Corden type character that's going to motivate players. You've got to get the motivation right and the tactics right. No motivation.
Yeah, I agree with Andrew. You know, I think you look at the likes of Pep in the Prem or Klopp, how animated they are in the drinks breaks. We said it last week. You know, Kenny in the drinks breaks, to be fair to him today, he looked more animated than I've ever seen him. But even still, it just seems a bit senseless that nothing changes. And that's our biggest problem, is that it's not just about the person in charge. Like if Kenny was diverse enough to play a different style of football and we had the same result, you'd be like, well, at least he changed something up or he did something different. It might not have been the right thing, but he did make a change. Whereas tonight, it was a change of personnel, not a change of style of play. And I think, it wasn't working in the first leg. It didn't work at the start of the second leg, and it certainly wasn't working towards the end of it. So, we almost got reliant on having penalties and scoring them, and we shouldn't be in that position. If you want to be in the Championship, you shouldn't be reliant on scoring a few penalties. You should have been like Oxford were, pressing us, putting pressure on us, trying to score the goal in the game, which is not. We didn't look like doing that all night.
Kane has come in and said the communication today was our biggest fault. Bassey's handling is poor. Big Mac is solid in comparison. It was his save in the trophy final last season, followed up by Hawkins' penalty. I did actually say to Andrew at the time, maybe we should bring Big Craig McGillivray on to save the pens, because I know that Bass hasn't been prolific in terms of his penalty saving. Andrew Perry has come in and said, I'm with you. Andrew won't remove my season ticket with Jacket in charge. I think a lot of Pompey fans are feeling that this evening. Here in Argentina, if the cycle ends, we sack out the manager and build a new project. Perhaps that's need to be replicated over here in the United Kingdom. Curtis has got an attitude problem and thinks he's bigger than he is. If we focus on the football player, I think he's a fantastic talent, but that's certainly an argument to be had. Jacket cycle is definitely finished. Ben Close will be going, says Pompey Vlogs. We have to stick with the club. We are the most loyal fans about, but on an evening like this and after a failed season like this, it all kind of feels a little bit stronger, doesn't it? But I know exactly what you're saying. We are the most loyal fans. We are the most passionate up and down the land, and that will not fall away just from a playoff. What's the word I'm looking for? Playoff disheartenment. Playoff disaster. No. Alex on the negative.
I was just going to say that I'm really disappointed Burgess is going, actually. I thought he played really well across both legs and all season. I think he stood out as one of our best players consistently across the last 20 or 30 matches. And yeah, we're going to have to replace him, and it's going to be difficult to find some. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good centre-backs out of contract, don't get me wrong, but he's someone that's been at the club a number of years. He's an intelligent guy. He's great on the pitch. He's great off the pitch. It's just a shame that we're now in the same league and we're losing some of our better players. I think all that frustration adds up.
Ollie's come in and said, honestly, I would prefer James Corden to Jacket right now. Well, that's just what Andrew's been saying. Scott Beattie said, I really do feel for you. I'm a Gills fan that lives here in Pompey. I know how much this means to you. I'm really worried for us next season. I am as well. Brilliant, bringing an actor to replace a guy who's been promoted 3 times. James Corden's seen it all now. But it's not quite falling right for us, Duncan. It's not happening with Jacket at Portsmouth Football Club. Stu Harris has said, as a Wolves fan, Jacket did a good job for us, but does make strange decisions player-wise. It's clear he's not the man to take you forward. Get rid right now and good luck for the future. Thank you very much for that. Massive budget, yet still can't make the top 3. KV said, I do not understand how Curtis can spoon all the free kicks but will not step up for a pen. I love Curtis as a player. Proper talent just lacks a bit in the attitude area. Bring back Redknapp or Avran Grant. There's a shout. Pompey need a charismatic manager. The players and fans would relish that. Jacket couldn't inspire a wasp. So boring. He's had his tries. It's time for change. And it's time for Ronnie to keep sending in analogies to do with poppadoms and wasps. Keith Reed has said the ball spent too much time in the air, endless headers, little football. Sam Steele said because of how many players that are going, we are probably going to have to rebuild. Correct. Tony said feels like the end of an era. Lots of players and hopefully the manager will be going. Hard to see there will be enough to rebuild in time for next season, whenever that may be. Williams was the only player that turned up today, boys. Would you like to discuss that one?
I thought he played well. I thought he was good.
Yeah.
I think a number of players played well. I don't think he was the only player, but he was good.
I think Harness had a very good game. Harness played very well. I think Williams played very well. I think Seddon had a good game as well. I think Seddon was solid. He did a lot right. Burgess again was solid. I think a lot of players did okay. I just think we weren't diverse enough. That's basically it, isn't it? What it boils down to. We were very one-dimensional.
Andrew, I was going to ask you, mate, what would you say on the game as a whole? What went wrong?
Formation for one, Tom. And I'd say Ollie hit the nail on the head with the choice to bring Bryn Morris in for 2 games when he's been injured all season and the captain's dropped for the 2 most crucial games. I question that. It all went wrong, didn't it? The hoofball went wrong. We played all right for 20 minutes, played it on the deck, passed it around quickly, looked like a very, very good side on both games in the first 20 to 30 minutes. And then they start panicking and just start lumping it everywhere. I don't understand why the manager can't get a grip and talk to them properly about it. I didn't see Oxford make one single mistake tonight. They just passed the ball around nicely and calmly and moved into space a lot quicker. And it's the sort of football you want to watch, isn't it? Coventry played it like that. Luton Town last season were like that. Northampton played football like that when it got promoted. You know, we just seem to sign some big ticket players and ego players, and they think they're playing for a big club. Well, actually, playing in League One again, mate, as usual. I'm just disappointed, Tom. Just very disappointed. I'm just watching in the background, Fleetwood having a right go at Wickham tonight.
Tomo, can you read out Pompey God's comment again? Because it made me laugh.
What was Pompey God's comment, mate? Hawkins.
He's just put one in. Yeah.
Hawkins has said Hawkins transformed the game against such a elite player. How has he not been called up for England yet? Pompey God, that's what we're all thinking tonight, mate. Absolutely. Probably a little bit more serious comment coming before that from Pompey God himself. So we're all distraught. But realistically, this is our club, the club that pretty much died 10 years ago. Whatever happened, we all support our club through thick and thin, no matter how peed off we are. Thank you for that one, mate. Why the hell did McKeelan step up for a pen when it was quite clear that his legs had gone? I'm not sure how much effort it takes to do a penalty. Oxford played a bit dirty, if you ask me. They played good the entire season. They were lucky today. I don't know what Harrison was doing with the own goal. That's something we haven't discussed yet, boys. What was Harrison doing for that own goal?
No
and
idea, mate.
Before we discuss that, Paul Brimmy said Andrew in for Jacket, and I wouldn't argue against that.
I have no idea what was going on for the goal. Poor communication. I don't know. Not thought it through. You never know who to blame really for that, do you? I mean, I guess if either of them weren't there, the other one would have cleared it. So all they needed was one of them to talk to the other one, and it would have been fine.
I think that I would say, like I said earlier, with when we were going forward in the first half, I can't remember who it went in for a header with Harrison when we were attacking. Like Harrison moved back to the ball when there was someone coming in from the edge of the box who was clearly going to get a better line on it, better head on it, because he's attacking the ball as opposed to retreating and trying to get back behind it to head it in. They both went in for that. So whether that's communication there or Harrison not listening, whatever it might well be, and then again the same thing happens the other end about 10 minutes later. The keeper needs to be calling for that, putting a name on it, and I'd be surprised if he hasn't that's the first rule of being goal. When you're coming for the ball, you shout for it, isn't it? So if he hasn't done that, I'll be surprised. And I think Harrison might have just not heard or not reacted quick enough, and that it cost us at the end of the day, didn't it? Because they didn't score otherwise. So, but then arguably we scored against a runner play as well. So
interesting.
I don't think it cost us the game. I just think that it was a bit one of those moments, isn't it?
Has clearly missed the fans for motivation over both legs. To you both, and Andrew, if you want to come in on it, do you think that played a massive part?
Same for both sides, I think.
But especially for a team like Pompey who've relied so much on home form.
Yeah, but I don't know. You can get drawn into this game, can't you? In two legs. Ultimately, we should have got promoted. We should have won the league. We should have won the league probably one of the last 3 seasons. We haven't done. This game is not really important, is it? It's the big picture, I think. It's not good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Duncan Hart said Hawkins has been massively underused. He's perfect for the system we've been playing, whereas Ellis and Marcus don't quite fit that role alone up front. Don't.
Duncan,
Let's leave that one there. Plenty to get through. Jack Chapman said, realistically, who is available that would want the job of taking us up? There's a nice one from Ryan who's coming on Facebook saying, I think a lot of players really don't get the Pompey way. Spirit, desire, just enthusiasm. I really do think it's time for KJ to go, but he won't. The players aren't worried about Kenny Jackett. They don't care when they come in at half time. They'll get a pat on the back. Stood by the man for a long time, but time's up. Interesting to think if Cook would have took us up in 3 years, potentially. Hashtag Andrew In is going to be trending all over the world tonight. Chris Hooton has been suggested as a potential manager for Pompey. So sad, so are we. Hawkins did okay today, dragged defenders for other players and scored his pen. Okay, well, please can we stop talking about Hawkins because it will just get several members of the panel going. Bass is a shocker at corners. Maybe too many players were going for the same one. Tony said, to be fair, Oxford had a blatant penalty at the end. Tony, I think we had a couple in there and a couple of red cards that would have been given had VAR taken the view. Ollie Clark has said, I think Bass definitely should have called for it. Didn't hear him call for it, but I would have thought he might have done. If not, then absolutely. To be honest, thought though I'd say we were the best team over both legs. If you put both legs together, boys, I know it's 2-2 on aggregate and then 5-4 win for Oxford on penalties. Clearly not a lot in terms of goals to separate the two. Andrew, do you want to come in on who you thought was the better over the two legs?
Yeah, Tom, I said it earlier. I thought Oxford were. I thought they played a better football. And they probably, on balance of the 2 games, I think they deserved it. Your guy just mentioned the penalty. Yeah, that when I can't remember who was pulling him down in the box, pulling the shirt back, but certainly was it Tom, tell me who that player was that was pulling him back. It was
Lee Brown.
Lee Brown pulling him down. That's a definite penalty, isn't it? And that could have finished the game anyway. We wouldn't have gone to pens. But as you say, it's not about this game. It's about the season and how we felt over the season and what we've talked about over the season to lots of people. Pretty much everyone's saying the same thing. But we're trying to be politically correct about it. Now it's time for change. We need a change. Yes, change some of the players. They've got to go, haven't they, some of them? But it's time we put another manager in, another go, isn't it? Let's give someone else a chance. 3 years to another. Do we want another season like this? No, we don't. And we're going to get one. For sure, we're going to get one if he stays.
Okay. Embarrassed to be a Portsmouth supporter right now, says Pompey Vlogs. Bass was at fault for the goal by not claiming, no communication. Paul Cook for next season. Matt has come in on Facebook saying, where's it gone? Bass was flopping about in the box. Goal wouldn't have happened with a more commanding goalkeeper, i.e. Craig McGillivray. That's an interesting point. Another one, Callum's come in saying McGillivray should have played. Bass isn't good enough for the big games yet. The commentator was shocking. Couldn't have been further up the Oxford if he tried. Got several players wrong on several occasions, I noticed tonight. So big up Rob Palmer. We need a full defence to rebuild next season. Burgess, Raggett, Seddon and Downing all leaving. Boys, discuss that one.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, why don't we just put Hawkins back there? What a great shout that would be.
I think Andrew wants to come in on that one.
No.
He played centre back against Southampton.
We're just bringing the new back four. That's what you got to do with it. Simple.
Okay. Let's keep going. Just imagine if we were more clinical in the first leg and actually had a ref that didn't leave his specs at home. We can all blame referees, but it's Pompey's performance that counts in the end. Ronnie's come in. Hopefully, there's another analogy in here. Harrison was so isolated all game. Thought he'd get involved defending the corner. Wish he hadn't bothered. Absolute shambles, that corner. There it is. Bash couldn't catch a cold. Cape United coming in unlucky with Sorry, go on.
The thing is with that comment about Harrison, Harrison being isolated for the game. You look at the way Marquis got involved when he came on, the amount of balls he won in the air, the amount of times he held the ball up and laid it off to either Williams or to Curtis or to whoever it was around McCrory. It showed a different sort of striker. He was looking for the ball. He was going for it. He was getting involved in the game. I don't think it was Harrison was isolated. I just think Harrison wasn't involved. He wasn't challenging for the ball enough, in my opinion. And I'd say the same for Hawkins. What we said earlier, that comment about Ollie Hawkins earlier, I think he has the potential to be utilised as a very good player in the formation we play, but he just doesn't want the ball enough. Whenever the ball comes to him in the air, he's got to be the tallest person on the pitch. And I just don't see him winning headers. He never seems to win that. And when he does win the header, it's not to one of our players. He doesn't bring the ball down. He doesn't hold up the play particularly well. So I would say for both of those players, they just didn't play well enough in the role that they were given. I think Marquis played the role a lot better, which is why he should have started from the start of the first leg.
Fans deliver the motivation and support. Jacket didn't 100% agree that fans play a big role. Yes, they do. And perhaps that was even more amplified for Pompey. What about the boys in the car park, though, sat on the van? Anyone see that picture, the quality? Will the Iceman think we've got further because we lost on penalties at the moment? I'm drowning my sorrows. Aren't we all, mate? Aren't we all? Feels like a divorce. None of us can account for what a divorce feels like in here at the moment.
Well, one man can.
Disappointing, avoidable goal. No.
He's had about 8 of them.
No pace up front.
Billy 8 divorces.
No, all 3 strikers are big lumps. What's going on with the commentary? Yeah, I know, wasn't great. We're a historic club. Plenty of managers will be interested in the job. Sean has come in very plain and simple. Win your home leg. Perhaps that was the deciding factor for Pompey. No offense, but I think your club is bigger. You think your club is bigger than it is, which can cause a lot of pressure on players. It means you as fans do over-exaggerate where you should have been and what you should be doing. It's an interesting one. Keith has come in saying McGeehan, Raggett, Seddon, McCrory, Pittman, Hawkins, and others will leave in the club in a week. Jacket might as well join them. Time for a new manager and new players. Thanks for coming in and your comment, Keith. Phil said, not seeing a lot of Portsmouth this season, living so far away. If that's what's being served up, I think I'll stay where I am. Phil, given the current COVID-19 situation and Pompey's recent form, I don't think that's a bad idea, mate. Darren, build the team around Jack at the back and Cannon in the middle with Naylor. I think that's a fair point. Big John needs to start. What's Jacket doing? Another winter player. Would you have gone Ronan to take the penalty over McGeehan? I think we've discussed that in a bit of detail, but I think the main answer to that is yes. Marquis has been the top dog in goal for years. In goals for years, sorry. Why not play to his strength? He's a game changer, but can't take 50-foot punts. Scragger said we're pre-season might be shorter than normal. Will be too little time for a change in management. I think there's always time for a change in management. And Pompey Gotta said I'm under the legal age of marriage, by the way. So I'm not quite sure how you can say it feels like a divorce, but there we go. Adam said in response to the Gillingham fan Scott's comment that said Pompey are a big club for this level, getting an average of 17,000 in League One is impressive, and I think we'd all agree with that. Yeah. BPFD Vlogs has said absolute heartbreak, mate. Any of the points that I've made, boys, that you wanted to pick up on? I think Andrew's.
Yeah, I think about the big club thing, like you were saying. I don't think we're saying we're a big club because we're not. I think we've got 16,000 season ticket holders. we get a lot of fans at home. The revenue's there. That the money's behind the club to push it forward. And for League One, we should be at the top of League One. There's no doubt about it. We deserve to be in the Championship, in my opinion, at the size of the club we are. And that is the bare minimum we deserve. We shouldn't be a League One club with the support and the following that we have and the finance that we have in place to push forward. That's my opinion.
I'll say something. Tomo.
Be very careful with what you say.
You're in, Andrew.
I'm not going to say anything untoward, mate. I'm just going to say you've got to quantify big clubs, haven't you? We've been in League One and we've been out the top league for the last 10 years. But our fans still turn up every week, and we still have 16, 17,000, 20,000 every week, whatever it might be. And away, we always take the full allocation. A big club, that's a big club in my view. Somebody like Manchester United have got fans everywhere in the country. So have Arsenal, Tottenham, glory hunting fans that live in Oxford, that live in, in Dorset, that live in Norwich and places like that. They support Manchester United and Liverpool because they're glory hunting. We are a big club in terms of the city supports the football team. It doesn't support any other football team, and it isn't the huge city, not like Manchester or Liverpool. It's a big enough city, but it's not. Conurbation is not millions, is it? So therefore, it is a big club, and the fans still turn up for every game, don't they? In every league, and there's a difference. What happens in places like Middlesbrough, Fulham, places like that? Look at their gates: 11,000, 10,000, 8,000. Cardiff City, 3.5 million people live in Cardiff. In the Championship, they struggle to get 15,000. There's the difference. It's about passion, support, and following your team, isn't it? There's a difference between a big club and a small club, mate.
Okay. Alexander, negative, you want to come in on anything that Andrew said?
No, I agree with that. I think we're a bigger club than we are showing on the pitch, aren't we? That's the thing. And I think we all just would like the manager and the players to show the same passion that the fans do, which has just been lacking for a number of seasons. I think I've been on the videos lots and lots of times backing Kenny to stay in for us all to be longer term in our thought process and not become too short term. But I think he's had enough chances to get a squad together that should be able to win a league with a great fan base, a great budget, and hasn't done it. So I agree with everyone else that I think they need to change. Hopefully we do. If not, I think we're all going to be very frustrated at the start of next season.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's be honest. Even when Cookie was in charge, he made mistakes, but you could see how animated he was on the side of the pitch, how much he loved the club, and that was the big thing for the fans. That's why the fans got behind him. The fans liked him because of who he was and his personality came through. I just think Jacket doesn't show any personality, doesn't show any willing to change. And although Cook made the wrong decisions, a lot of times, they respected him for the fact that he was going for it a little bit. We'd rather see someone go for it and lose than try and play safe football or clever, whatever he thinks the type of football we're playing actually is.
Lavzy, by the way, or BTW has said, Jacket has no common sense in starting 11. Callum has also said, I guess we can be back to back leasing trophy champions.
I was just going to shoot,
Right.
mate. I'm going to do one. But thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me on.
Have a good one, mate. Boys, do you think we were even ready for the Championship? Says Paul.
No,
Not with our current team or management. No.
Okay.
That's the truth of it, isn't it? If we can't push forward and win in League One and win the league convincingly, we're definitely not ready for the Championship.
Pompey God has come in and said Kenny Jacket never fitted our system. Cook played attacking football, and look where that got us. Kenny Jackett's a genuine bloke, and I've had a good chat with him, but his engagement lines are bad. Half the squad will now go. Gary said bring back Paul Cook. Jacket has to go. What positions we need for next season? I think we've discussed that in detail, but I'm more than happy to go over it again. Come on, Pompey's a big club. I doubt that other League One teams have the same international image as Portsmouth. Off topic, reaction to the news that Harrington and Waterloo are installing a 3G pitch, meaning that they can play in all different weathers and less games will be postponed now. So that's excellent news. Sean has said, do you think our owners understand the concept of sacking someone? Obviously, bearing in mind that some of the owners might be, probably won't be watching this evening, but have watched the show in the past. What do we make of that one?
No, Tom, they don't understand the concept, because I saw the comment that Michael Eisner made last season when we lost 3 games in a row, and his comment on iPlayer was, "We lost 3 games in a row. I've just phoned up Kenny Jackett and offered him a 2-year extra extension to his contract." So, no, they don't understand it, mate, 'cause they're in California. Don't understand football, do they? Don't understand passion. Don't understand what we need from this. They've got a 5 to 10 year plan. We haven't got a 5 to 10 year plan, have we?
I think American sports run very differently, isn't it, to British sport? The type of game football is. It's very fast paced. It's very quick. There's an easy point of finger blaming one person individually for it, and often it's the manager that loses out over it. And I'm the first to say that we need to give people more time. You see what happened with United and their managers over the last few years, just like rolling through them over and over and over. And we did that years ago as well when we were on the tumble. We just kept going through managers, and it doesn't make a difference. I agree, if you find the right person, you need to stick with him and stay behind him. And I think we gave Kenny a lot of time to prove himself now. What do we do? You stay with him again next year and we end up in the same position. Then we're sat there again. Do we go, oh, let's give him another year? Where do you draw the line with, success? You arguably being in the playoffs 2 seasons in a row. Is that good enough though? Is that, we were aiming to win the league. We were favourites to win the league the last 2 seasons. We're not going out and winning games, and that's our biggest problem.
Keith has come in and said every one of the 4 clubs in this playoff will struggle next season in the Championship. The Eisners must be happy they don't have to commit any money to the cause, relying on only the home gates income. Perhaps we might not have a home gate income, Keith, given the current situation, but we'll have to wait and see. I actually think the Fratton faithful would get behind Carl Robinson's style of football over Jackett's. Boys, would you like to discuss that one, Andrew?
Yeah, Tom, it's exactly what I was saying earlier, wasn't it? Then we want to go and watch that style of football. We want to see. We'd have him, Carl Robinson. If he doesn't get promoted from Oxford tonight, let's have him, or even the guy at Wickham, Ainsworth. Let's have someone with some passion, someone with a thinking brain. It's a younger person's football, isn't it? Things have changed. 30 years Kenny Jackett's been in managing football, 22 years or something, and he's done it all right. He's done it with Wolves, he's done it with Millwall, and the ticket is that he can do it again. The things have changed in the last 10 years, haven't they? Football's changed, the style of football's changed. What you've got to do, your training changed, your regime changed, the whole thing's changed. It's too old school, isn't it? We need we've got to change it.
Tad to your right, mate.
Very big Sam-esque, isn't it?
Tad to your right, Andrew.
The style of football that we have is very big Sam-esque under Jackett. It's you put the ball in the box 10 times in a game, you might score a goal. Yeah. The more times you put the ball in the box, the more times you've got to score in a goal. And all we do is play the ball around the back 4, try and wait for a space to go out wide, go down the wing, put the ball in the box. Yeah. And
okay.
When in the last 2-3 years we do anything different?
We're going to have to move on. There's plenty to get through. Pompey will get better for next season and end of the season. That begs the question. Perhaps we should be looking to get up through automatics, if not any other way possible to get out of League One. Sean is in agreement with Andrew. Paula said, what I don't get is we were drawing in extra time. We still have 2 subs. Change it around. Try someone different for once. Owner nationality makes no difference in club success. You probably just have to look at the Premier League to argue that one. Perhaps Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp against Mark Hughes, for example. Morby PFC says, fully against Jackett, but squad wasn't strong enough. Easy to blame Jackett, but never replace Lowe or Clark. Boys, did that have any impact on what we've just seen tonight?
Yeah, it does, Tom. Because whose decision is it to let Lowe go and Clark go? It's the manager's decision. He could have said, we're going to keep him to the end of the season, for one. Lowe was a different story. He wanted to go anyway, so he's gone. And now they're in liquidation and he's out of a job. So there's a different story there. But Clark was the manager, and the structure of that football club at the top, including Mark Catlin, let Clark go for money, didn't they? That's a fact. He could have stayed to the end of the season, couldn't he? He didn't have to go. He could have stayed, and they could have made him stay because he was contracted to stay. But it's all about money.
Yeah,
face it. If you're a manager and you want to get promoted, you're going to keep your best players in play, aren't you?
What I would say with regards to Clark is obviously Clark's a young footballer. He played so well that season, and you do want to see him progress in their career. And you want to let him go to that bigger club and get that experience, because that's an amazing thing for him to have that experience. And footballers do move on. You can't sit there and say, I think as a manager of a football club, you'd want all of your players to want to move on, because that you want them playing to the best of their ability, so they're attracted to the next level. That's, if your players are playing at that ability, then they're going to be bought in that level. But then that's also going to get you to that level because they're playing better than anyone else in your league. So I would say that you want the player to grow. But what I don't understand when we sold Clark is why we didn't get some kind of clause in place if they were going to loan him out, to have him back on loan.
Yeah,
why didn't we say to him that you're not going to play him? Let's have him back for 6 months or a season, and we'll play him week in, week out on loan for us. He knows the club, he knows the fans, he knows the management, and he still gets his experience to grow and develop as a player whilst being signed for a bigger club.
Ollie, he's only 22 years old. He's got his whole season ahead of him. He can stay with us to the end of the season, get us promoted, then go if he wants to. I don't see he was contracted to play football for that football club.
I would say it's easy to say that, but it is very easy for someone to have, like what happened to Watmore, big injury, out for a whole season, and then can't progress in his career because he can't get back in the side. It happened to my friend Brennan as well. Same thing happened to him at Colchester. Was looking up and moved to the Championship when he was at Colchester, did a cruise ship the week before the end of the season and couldn't get moved because of that. So I don't blame Clark for wanting to move to a bigger club at all. I think that's very sensible. It's like being in work and being offered a job in a company 10 times the size of yours for twice or 3 times the money. You'd be in it not to look at it seriously.
No matter what your affiliation with the company.
Slightly different in this football club. It's slightly different when you're building to get yourself into the Championship, and it's slightly different between that and going to work. Kenny Jones has been paid a lot of money to manage this club. He should have said, actually, if I'm going to manage the club and get out of this league, then I need to keep these players in this position to get us there. And
Matt's come in saying changing manager is
unrealistic to say that a player's going to not want to leave to go to a bigger club.
I'm not saying
that's what all their aim is going to be. But if Kenny then says to him, "No, mate, you're going to stay and play for us. We're not going to allow you to leave," is he going to want to play? As a footballer, you say he's a professional. He should want to do that anyway. But we all have emotions, and I think that given that opportunity, anyone in the same shoes would do it. It's a short career, and fair play to Clark for moving on. But I think that the management should have been more down the lines of get a contract in place to have him back for a whole season whilst he was on loan. That's what I think would have been the fairest way to deal with it.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. And if he's quite right, if he wants to move on to a bigger club and do better himself, which he's done, that's fine, because lots of players have done that. I have no problem. But when you're setting the club up to get promoted this season, which is the aim, you set your players out and say, okay, well, I need you. If you're signing this contract to sign to the end of the season, get us promoted, then you can go. No problem. But don't take them out halfway through the season. That's my point. And yes, in the summer, fine, after the season's finished. But it just annoys me that players think they can just come and go as they please to get more money. Well, Lowe was at Hampstead or somewhere on nothing, doing nothing, and brought me to
Clark did go in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, Jamal Lowe, when he went, if you take him out the picture, he just shot off, didn't he? January decided he wanted to go. Clarkey did the full season, did the end of the season thing, and off he went. Fair enough.
Okay, we're going to have to leave that one there, boys. Paul Broom has said Abdul in for jacket. Matt came in and said changing manager is all about who's available. Can only do it if someone better is available. Jacket worse is better than a lot of other managers. Don't get me wrong, I'm bored of Jacket as well, but need a better option. Otherwise, there's no point. Carl Robertson's style of football is lying on the ground all day. Ainsworth's style is worse than Kenny's, says Tony. Ollie Clark has said, I think we... Actually, going back to Tony's comment, I think that's very true because of the amount of injuries and the rolling around on the floor, etc. I think we should have played Pittman and Marquis as a striking partnership more earlier in the season. Maybe that's something to look back on. Sean came in and said the old heads aren't always the best heads. Who's coming in League One in League Form Champions relegation, and who have we got for League Two? We will discuss that one another time, I'm sure. We will struggle for next season because of Luton and Barnsley coming back down. Phil has said Portsmouth look light years away from being good enough for the Championship. Boys, very quickly, would you? I think I might have asked you this before, but just for those who might have joined us a bit later on, good enough for the. If we had won that game that we've just watched, would we have been good enough?
No.
No? Okay.
Simple as that. No, we're not good enough. I think there's a lot of players there that are good enough to play in the Championship, but I think as a whole squad, I do harken back to what Andrew said about when Clark went and the management should set out the players he want. I agree with that. Maybe Clark goes like he did, then why haven't we replaced him with someone? We've got Burgess still, who played awesome this season. Don't get me wrong, Burgess was unbelievable this season. He played a really good season. I would like to keep him again for next season. Then you've got Watmore, who was injured, but realistically, you need to say, right, we need a back four. We need a strong, solid, week in, week out back four, and we haven't had that all season.
I just want to quickly jump in on Duncan's comment because he says he's going to be leaving us soon. Thanks for your match work and entertaining discussions during lockdown. We may not always agree, but we all want the same thing. Play at Pompey. Thanks for joining us, Darren. Duncan, sorry. It's been great to have you with us, mate, and always great to spark debates out of Pompey. We said Tio has said keeping jacket is synonym for getting comfortable in League One. Sorry I jumped in late and topic might have been covered, but do we honestly think jacket will be sacked? I think anything but that, and a lot of fuss will be made, should we say. Joshua's come in and said jacket needs to go. Ronnie has said can't see the Islanders making a change. They believe their system more boring, uninspiring, dull football next season, I think. And I think a lot of people will agree with you on that one, Ronnie, Andrew included. Alex has said I think jacket should stay. Just try and do good business in the transfer window. Thoughts?
Move on, Tom.
Leroy said I'm not going to back Isers until they sack jacket, as shows they don't want any real progression for the club. Could I jump in and furnish a bit of information that I learned recently? A quick Wikipedia of Michael Eisner. He was disbanded from the board of directors at Disney for nothing other than a stagnant company and stagnant view of the future of Disney. And there was a campaign by Walt Disney's son, I believe, Roy, to save Disney from Michael Eisner's tenure, as they felt that the company wasn't going anywhere. They'd had a rubbish year in the 2000s, and films were dropping and theme park sales were dropping and that kind of thing. That's just something to jump in there. I'm not sure if it's got any relevance towards Pompey, but there we go. Leroy said we're going to lose Curtis this year now. I think, unfortunately, a lot of players will now go. Alex O'Connell said I would only feel properly confident in the Championship if we got automatics and played consistently instead of up and down spells. Boys, we've been there for pretty much the majority of all the games this season. Up and down spells is a great way to describe it. We think winning against Wickham and Ipswich, which were the top two at the time, and then losing 3-1 away to MK Dons, I think is more consistency required from Pompey in order to merit a season in Championship.
That obviously is, isn't it? Good flowing football, passing football, and Oxford did well to get to where they've got to. The troubles they've had there. Look, they come from the bottom half right up to the playoffs, and they're at Wembley, aren't they? So they play some good football and a good manager who's good his head screwed on. That's the bottom line, mate. It's motivation, isn't it?
Sean has come in very directly saying, Andrew, do you think Kenny should resign?
Well, I think Tom, he won't resign because he's on too much money, and if he resigns, he gets nothing. They'll have to pay him some money to go, won't they? And that's what he'll hold out for sure. I don't think they will. I think Eisner will keep him because it's a 10-year plan, a dull 10-year.
If I'm honest, I don't think Kenny will leave on his own accord, and I don't think Eisner going to sack him. That's what I think is the likely scenario. I think we're likely to have another season under Kenny next year, which is going to be quite disappointing for a lot of fans, I think. Just what I've got you as well, Tom. I'm going to have to go because I've only got 3% battery. It's about to die on me. So thank you everyone for tuning in this year and listening to me babble a bit, and hopefully see you all next season.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ollie, and thank you for your input as always, mate. It's been a pleasure to have you on. What we'll just do is very quickly finish off the last few comments, and then we'll get going ourselves. Harry Lucas has said, just joined the stream. Gutting to spend another season in this league. What an opportunity missed. Got to trust the Islanders to guide us through. If we sack Jacket, who can come in? We've discussed that at length, Harry. But I think there's a number of people that will be looking for the job at Pompey. It's just whether or not Jacket will receive the sack. Leroy said, I will still travel from Scotland to England to follow my team when fans about. Fans are allowed back. Sorry, Leroy, you're a true blue, mate. Jacket has come out and said he believes he's the guy to get us promoted and focus on next season. Haven't seen that interview yet, but there we go. Perhaps that's what he said, and perhaps that's how he's feeling right now. Maybe a couple of days on and he might reflect and feel differently. If we can't beat Oxford and Wycombe, how will we fare against the likes of Barnsley, Posh and Stoke, Luton, Sunderland, Ipswich, etc. next season? We were handed this on a plate. Fans need to get what they want as a football club, and Sean is off as well. Cheers, guys. We'll see you later on. One more thing. What about Gary Neville for a manager? He managed to win a trophy, so why not? Given his experience at Valencia, I think we'll give a pass on Gary Neville and let him stick to the commentary. That is it from us. Thank you so much for joining us. Andrew, just a final word from you, mate. Me and you have started every single episode of this season together. We're now about to finish the last one of the season. Is there anything you'd like to say to the viewers before we end?
No, Tom, obviously, stay well, keep safe. Let's get through the summer season and let's see where we are in August. Let's hope we can get back to watching Pompey at Fratton Park, assuming Kenny's not there.
Okay.
And play at Pompey.
We're very grateful for you all for joining us this season, and especially tonight as well. I'll imagine you'll feel pretty disheartened, but as we say, in Kenny we trust. Keep the faith. And play up Pompey. Have a good one. And have a great summer, and we'll see you back at Fratton Park as soon as possible. Bye-bye from us for now.